Brady. This is going to be exciting.
And the Geico restart zone to go. Green flag is out and we're underway.
Just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
We've got a 5-way fight for the win of this race coming to 4 laps to go. He's gonna win it here in spectacular fashion.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the MK Fire Design Sports Car Series presented by Zat Graphics. Tonight, we are in the Finger Lakes region of upstate New York, and for the next 60 minutes, Goat Locker Racing's most talented road racers will be on display here at the Glen. It's GT3 Racing, next on VSPEED. Good evening once again, and welcome to Watkins Glen. Alongside Ken Huber in the broadcast booth, I am Corey Smith, with Timothy Jones in the truck and Dougie Beard on cameras. As we bring in Ken Huber, Ken, we saw some extremely competitive racing last week with 2, 3, even 4-car battles for one position that pretty much lasted the entire race, but ultimately it was the Tyler Merritt show, taking the rest of the field to school with a 47-second margin of victory. If anyone but him's going to end up in victory lane, what are the keys to success this week?
Oh, there's going to be a lot of keys to success. But you mentioned Tyler Merritt last week there at the Brickyard. Yeah, that was quite a show. Again, the Brickyard never disappoints, but looking forward to being here at the Glen in the mountains of upstate New York. So going to be fun. I think the keys of the race, we're going to start. It's going to be a morning race. It's going to be a really cold track. It's going to take a couple laps to get these tires heated up. So these guys are going to have to be really careful because we're looking at about a 70-degree track temperature with mostly cloudy conditions. So these guys will have their hands full warming up these tires, but it's also going to make it extremely fast out there. And I expect to see, I don't even know that these guys are going to be able to make it to the halfway point on fuel. So that'll be another interesting strategy that we'll see shake out tonight.
Well, we're about 12 minutes into qualifying. We're just about to wrap up. We have seen some blistering speeds so far, but let's take a look at what we have on the schedule. We're at Watkins Glen, obviously, today. Next week, we're going to be at VIR, followed by Road Atlanta, Long Beach, and Daytona, which is going to be a full 2-hour race. You can see after Columbus Day, we're going to be in Laguna Seca and Mid-Ohio. And then we have the long stretch that takes us to Thanksgiving right before Christmas at Monza. Let's take a look at what these drivers are going to be asked to handle today here at Watkins Glen on the eve of fall as we start to set in. Nice, cool track temperatures, the blistering speeds that we talked about. What once existed on public roadways since the end of World War II has evolved into one of the most entertaining circuits on any race calendar. Nearly 3.5 miles, 11 turns, and multiple places to pass. Look for big moves in turn 1, but you're also going to have opportunities to force the issue in the bus stop as well as basically every turn in the boot. So we got our 11 turns for 3.4 miles. Ken, you have the most experience out of anybody in this broadcast booth. What do you think about this track?
I think it's an enjoyable track. Like I mentioned at the top there, there's going to be a lot of grip. The way this track is configured, at least until you get to the boot, it's a lot of fun. And then the boot is a little bit more technical. But let's talk about our race length. We're going to race for an hour tonight with a pit road speed of 40 miles an hour. They'll have unlimited tire sets, although I'll be surprised to see anybody take any tires tonight. We'll see how that turns out. One fast repair, 50% fuel to start the race with an iRacing fix setup. So that's how we're going to start this race tonight.
Well,
so getting back to
go ahead, please.
Oh no, I was just getting ready to talk about the boot section. So NASCAR races on the regular section without the boot, and the corners are kind of, you can dig into the corners. They're very grippy. But when you get into the boot, that's a little more technical. There's a lot of elevation change. We saw a lot of spins during practice of entering the boot. So these guys will have to be on their toes, especially on those cold tires.
Well, that's good to hear. It's going to make for some exciting racing. Is there any reason that you would take tires on your one pit stop that you expect to make today?
The only way I would do it is if I spun or something like that. If I was protecting my tires and doing a good job of managing them, I would probably keep my tires. Just due to the fact that it takes so long. The new build with iRacing, it takes so long. They've got the tire model a little more accurate. It takes a long time to get heat in the tires, and you could lose 5-6 seconds just getting the tires warmed back up. And so all that fresh rubber does you no good if you give up that much time on the track.
All right, well, we're in the final seconds of qualifying. We talked about the Tyler Merritt show of last week. We might have somebody with an answer. Is Jed Cotterman currently fastest on the board in the waning seconds of qualifying? Let's see if Tyler Merritt can get a lap down or if he is just going to have to take care of things in turn one.
Yeah, he's only got a few seconds here to get it done, although we're open qualifying. So another one of the things that we do here at Goat Locker with this series is open qualifying. So these guys got to get around lap traffic, and sometimes that'll slow down your laps. Although Cotterman, like you'd mentioned before, was super fast during practice. So, I imagine Merritt and Cotterman will probably end up front somehow. Either Merritt or Cotterman will be in front, but I don't want to count out some of our other drivers. Gardner last week finished second at Indianapolis, and Gardner is always strong. And we mentioned next week that we're going to be at VIR. Somebody like Gardner, I wouldn't put it past. It might be able to sneak out a win, if not tonight, maybe next week.
Well, Tyler Merritt will run out of time as qualification time ends. He was in the boot and couldn't quite get the lap to count. So let's take a look at our Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award winner.
Yeah, so we're not quite to the pole yet. So what happens with open qualifying, Corey, is so they'll get one last lap to try to get a lap down. So they've got about a minute 45 seconds left for qualifying. So they've got a little more time. So basically when the clock runs out, everybody gets to finish a lap, and that's why the timer's set that way. And so that's what we're waiting on now, waiting for these guys to finish their laps. So, but right now, like you mentioned, Tyler Merritt sitting back there in second so far in qualifying, but there's some strong contenders back in the back.
All right, well, that's embarrassing for me. I was looking at the wrong timer, but we got an hour to fix everything, and everything's going to be all right.
It always is.
Well,
hey, so while we're talking,
the next, go. Would you like to go?
Oh no, you have it.
All right. Well, while we have a minute of actual qualifying left, shame on me. Let's talk about our Warrior Spotlight right now. We're going to talk about Hamza Khan, who served in the United States Air Force from 2008 to 2014. Hamza served in the United States Air Force as a ground radio technician, deploying to Afghanistan in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. He was also stationed at Mountain Home Air Force Base in Idaho and at Osan Air Force Base in the Republic of Korea. He was the 11th recipient of a sim rig, and we are proud to have him here at Goat Locker Racing.
Most definitely. Good job there, Corey. I was going to say, what's great about the Warrior Spotlight is that we both tried to fight over it, and that was totally awesome. That's what is great about having these guys show up to Goat Locker, and we really support our vets out there, and we're happy to have Hamza on board.
All right. Well, now as we wrap up the qualifying for real, now we got Tyler Merritt coming out of turn 11 for the final time during qualifying. Let's see if he can lay down enough to put him in the pole, and it's not going to be enough. He's about a 10th off. And so now, for real this time, we're going to go to our Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award winner as we are all about to start hitting the grid. It's going to be Jed Cotterman with a minute 43.402 and his number 18 machine. He's going to be inside of Tyler Merritt, the number 28, just a few hundredths off. Row 2 is going to consist of Tyler Justice and the number 92 machine of Brennan McDonald. Moving to row 3, we have the 243 McLaren of Samuel Egg with the Porsche number 77 Ryzen Baker in 6th. Row 4 is going to have Travis Stevens in his Chevy Corvette inside of Zach Minnis in the number 31 Porsche GT3 R992. And in row 5, we have Warren Clayton in his McLaren in the number 117, and Jeremy Gardner in his Chevrolet Corvette.
In row 6, we got Lucas Lyons starting in 11th, and on his outside will be Eddie Smith. He's back in the Porsche tonight. And starting in 13th will be Jake Ham in a McLaren alongside Jamie Lepke in a Porsche starting in 14th. Starting in 15th will be Tyler Rice in a Ford Mustang with Jason Black in a Lamborghini in 16th. In the 17th position will be Kevin Price. He'll start that position in the Porsche 911 with Kyle St. John, starting in 18th in the number 55. And number 19th will be Alexander Sexhauer in the 333 with Tyler White on his outside in the 20th position.
Making up row 11 in the rest of the field, it's going to be the 085 of James Goshen with the number 13 Audi of Bobby Germain. Row 12, the 03 Corvette of Brian Frauheiger, and the number 97 McLaren of Mark Cofield. Row 13 is going to have Jason Kristen's Acura and Casey Jones in his Ferrari.
Well, that wraps up our starting lineup. So, Corey, this is going to be awesome that they've just rolled off the grid here. So we've got a full pace lap that we're going to endure here before we take the green flag here. So going to be kind of exciting. I mean, how much experience do you have here at Watkins Glen for yourself? You asked me, but what about you?
Well, you know, just like a lot of the Goat Locker racing guys, I do this a lot in a cup car, but I also enjoy the GT3 cars as well. And then, you know, pretty much anything that shows up here, I like to do, whether it's F4 or whatever. And I enjoy it very much. So I hope that I enjoy it as much tonight from the booth as all these drivers do on track.
I think we all really enjoy it. Well, while we got a minute here, why don't we talk about what a feature I'd like to call the car of the week. So I didn't have a chance to talk about it last week, but I think we'll talk about our pole sitter. And I believe he's in a Mustang, and I'm trying to find my notes here. Yeah, he's in a Ford Mustang. So car of the week will be the Ford Mustang, who Jed Carterman is sitting in right now. So the Ford Mustang is a customer race car developed by Ford Performance and Multimatic Motorsports. It's based on a 7th generation Ford Mustang Dark Horse and was designed to compete in a major GT3 class championship around the world. The car was made its competitive debut at the 24 Hours of Daytona. The engine is a naturally aspirated 5.4 liter V8 Coyote V8 developed by Ford Performance and M Sport. The engine, which features a dry sump oiling system, which was specifically designed for the car rather than using the standard 5-liter production engine. The power output is regulated to around 550 horsepower by the racing series of the BOP, the balance of performance, to keep all these cars equal. Now, you know, the Mustang puts on a good show. It's a very loud car when you're running alongside there, especially if the Mustang was where Tyler Merritt is having to deal with it right now going around under the pace lap. You got that exhaust right next to it, and it is a little bit loud.
Well, as the field approaches the heel of the boot, we're almost ready to get underway. And yes, it's very loud. If you have any idea, none of these cars are very quiet, but yes, the Mustang is extraordinarily loud in person if you ever get a chance to see it or ride in one.
Yeah, it's also a lot of fun to drive. It being a rear-wheel drive car or a front engine car, the car is a little more stable, but it really, all that torque, when you get on the throttle, you got to be really careful. And when they get down into the boot, as I mentioned pre-race, you got to be really careful when you get on the throttle. That Mustang will come around. Although the Lambo is pretty notorious for that tonight. Anyway, we're about to come to the green flag. I'll let you take it here, Corey.
All right, well, the field is set. The tires are warm-ish, and everyone is ready to go. The pace truck is about to duck on off, and here comes the field to the green flag. Green flag, and we're underway from Watkins Glen. Brennan McDonald's going to make a move to the inside right away. He's going to force the issue on the turn one. Not going to make it happen. Jed Cotterman is going to get away.
Tyler Justice went around. He got got turned there on the start, and another car alongside there. So Tyler Justice already moving back positions right there going into turn 1.
Several cars blowing turn 1, just trying to escape without any damage as the leaders approach the bus stop for the first time.
Yeah, when you see that Mustang leading him through, Tyler Merritt right behind him in his tire tracks. They're side by side in the boot just behind him. This Tyler Justice and Brendan McDonald.
Going to go around. Merritt loses it in the carousel. He's parked near the tire barriers, and he's going to lose 18, 20 spots just in that first lap. Let's take a look at the VSPEED instant replay. You can already see he just got back in the gas just a little bit too soon, and it looks like he kept it out of the tires, but now he's back in 21st place, and he's going to have some work cut out for him as Jed Cotterman already out to a 1.1 second lead over Brendan McDonald.
Yeah, I mentioned that at the top of the race that, you know, cold tires are going to be an issue here on this cold track here early in the morning. It's about, let's see, sim time. It's 7:13 in the morning and looking at about 72-degree track temperature. So these tires need a couple laps to get warmed up, and Tyler Merritt found out the hard way. Tyler Merritt is also last week's winner and the current point leader, although we've only had one race. Looking back at Tyler Merritt, struggling. Oh, there's another spin behind Tyler Merritt there. And it looks like I want to say it was an Audi. I don't know if we got that. Yeah, oh, it was Acura back there. So it looks like.
Let's take a look and see if we can figure out who it is.
Noah
Looks like the
Hogard.
158, Noah Hogard. And just, yeah, a little gap. Turn 9 is really tough as you kind of get the negative G's there as you go up the hill and crest the hill. Get back in the gas a little too early, and you're going to hurt your car. You can see no rear wing. Looks like he might be burning up that fast repair right here in the opening minutes.
Yeah, so back up front, second and third, heck of a battle between these two Porsches. That's Brennan McDonald and Ryzen Baker. These two guys have been going at it. Brennan McDonald was down in the grass while we were talking about that replay, going through the bus stop, and managed to hang on to that car and stay ahead of Ryzen Baker as these two guys are going hard at it.
First, second, and third only separated by a second and a half as they go down into the heel of the boot, turn 8. All clean so far. Brennan McDonald trying to chase down Ryzen Baker as they're going to go up the hill, crest it, and over, tiptoeing around turn 9 and down the straightaway into 10.
And you've seen Brendan McDonald get high on that corner exit there, really pushing that car hard. Although now we're at the point in time where the tires are probably getting pretty warm and they're going to grip up really nice here as we look at the Mustang here. Trying to figure out who that is right now, but
it's Tyler Rice. Tyler Rice is in traffic, currently running 10th as he goes down the main straightaway into turn 1. He's just behind Jake Ham. Is he going to make a move into turn 1? No, he's going to wait, and he's going to set up maybe for the bus stop as they're going to go up and in through the S's.
Yeah, all pretty much single file right now as they go through the S's and up the hill and down the backstretch here, headed towards the bus stop. These guys are starting to get it sorted out. I think they're starting to get a little comfortable with the car. Just in front of them there, looking at first and second, they're still going at it, but looks like a little bit further back. Well, there we go. We're back on first and second here. That's Ryzen Baker up there in second, and that teal Porsche. Followed by Brendan McDonald in the pink Porsche there as they enter the boot section here. This is a really tricky corner. You're going downhill. The rear end gets really light. You got to be really careful with your brake bias here. And these guys are doing a great job, and they're actually not losing full contact with the leader just yet. They're just about 1.4 seconds behind that Mustang of Jed Carterman.
Well, the pair of Porsches duking it out don't have anything for the leader at the moment, but they're trying to jockey for that position. After a terrifying lap 1, everybody seems to have sorted themselves and the heat in their tires out for now, at least. But I think it's going to pick up pretty good here. We're only 5 minutes into this one.
Just behind them, there's another battle. Lucas Lyons and Samuel Egg. I think Samuel Egg just lost it. I was just getting ready to cover them. Yeah, Samuel Egg of the 243 was following Lucas Lyons, and I think he just got free there on the exit of that final corner there. And loop that McLaren around.
And there, as you can see, right across turn 9, claims another victim. Hopefully not too much damage. Might have to go in for repairs and burn that fast repair already, but we'll see. He's back to 20th now. And he has Jamie Lipke in tow, who's trying to make a move for 20th.
Yeah, they're battling all the way back there. You know, he didn't come in for a quick repair. It looks like that damage is fairly minor. Looks like Lipke's looking on the inside of going into one, but no dice.
Right,
we're looking at Tyler Merritt now.
Yep, let's check back in with Tyler Merritt, who's already gained back 9 of those spots. He fell all the way back to 22nd after losing it in the carousel lap 1, but you can see him making moves. I think that he might have something, you know, about 45, 50 minutes from now if he can keep it clean and get through all this traffic. Long way to go for Tyler, but he's on the right track for now.
Yeah, and Tyler's going to have to be careful. He's got a lot of traffic to come through, and as he gets closer to the front of this field, it's going to get harder and harder for him. So he's got his work cut out for him. All the drivers in front of him are really strong. Not saying that the ones behind him aren't, but you know, the drivers that are up front tend to be a little bit faster for this race anyway. And so you can see him being really patient behind that McLaren of Tyler Justice. But no dice yet. There he goes to the inside.
A special shout out to Dougie Beard for these beautiful shots here. Absolute cinema here at Watkins Glen. Now, talking about Tyler Merritt, you know, what's the pit window look like? You're the pit stop commander. What's the pit window look like? And, you know, when's the earliest he can pit and get away from some of this traffic?
Well, the earliest he can pit right now, and they can make it all the way because they start with the 50% fuel tank, but they're allowed to put 100% of fuel in during a pit stop. So his pit window is basically open, but the farthest that these guys can stretch it is about 25 to maybe 28 minutes, especially the fast ones. There's maybe a couple guys that are running a fuel mileage race that might be able to make it halfway, but it's right before the halfway mark where I expect to see drivers start to enter pit lane. But like I said, one of the disadvantages to coming in and taking a full load of fuel is you've got that extra weight. And I'm sure that's what he's thinking about now. Do I come in now and take all that fuel? That's probably going to slow him down and ruin his lap time. So I think he's going to try to struggle with traffic for a while.
As we're looking at the battle for 5th place, we got Travis Stevens in 5th with Jeremy Gardner right behind, and then Eddie Smith not too far behind him, as we already see Tyler Merritt slicing and dicing his way through the field, not wasting any time riding around.
Yeah, Tyler Merritt currently running behind St. John right now. Looks like he just got that position. No, not quite. There's another battle going on behind him. Another car got loose there. So Kyle St. John up there in that Corvette, and that's a mighty fine-looking Corvette for Kyle.
As you can see again, the battle for 5th rages on.
Yeah, that battle up front as we move back up front. Travis Stevens in that 5th place car right now is closing in on some of these guys. So Travis Stevens, you can see him there in that Corvette right now. He is, well, he's actually about, looks like about 6 seconds behind Lucas Lyons, who's currently running in 4th, but he's got a whole chain of cars behind him. He actually might be holding these guys up behind him a little bit. He's got another Corvette. That's Jeremy Gardner. You just mentioned Jeremy Gardner. Jeremy Gardner finished 2nd last week. So Jeremy Gardner is probably looking to maybe capitalize on some points tonight, especially with Tyler Merritt falling back to the position he's in. Tyler Merritt currently running in 10th. Jeremy Gardner currently running in 6th. Jeremy Gardner could make some points on tonight. And you know, next week we're at VIR, Virginia International, and I know Jeremy Gardner loves that track.
Well, that's just right up the road for him. As you can see, Jeremy Gardner just biding his time behind Travis Stevens, looking for back-to-back podiums.
Yeah, and Jeremy Gardner putting pressure on the back of that Corvette right now. You can see that, putting it on Travis Stevens there, trying to get by him. I think Jeremy Gardner sees all that open track in front of him, in front of Travis, and would like to get by him desperately. So we'll see in the next couple of laps whether he can get it done. We are 10 minutes into this race, so we're still a ways off from where I expect to see pit stops. But, you know, let's not count out Eddie Smith. He's back there in the Porsche. Last week, Eddie Smith tried out a Mustang, and I don't think he was very happy. He spun it and, you know, kind of butterfingered that car, and he's back in the Porsche. I know Eddie Smith really likes the Porsche, and why he went to the Mustang? I'll never know, but he's back in his favorite car, and we'll see if Eddie Smith's got anything for these guys tonight as well.
Well, clearly he was trying to be more patriotic and choose something to trip. But as we got car around, who is it?
Yeah, we're taking a look here. It looks like that is a BMW.
It's the number 58 car.
Oh, Lucas Lyons. Lucas
And it's
Lyons.
Lucas
Yeah.
Lyons. And
He was running up in 4th or 5th, and that's a huge setback for Lucas.
another victim for turn 9. Are you noticing a pattern there, Ken?
There is definitely a pattern. So, you know, the boot, that's where the technical part of this track is, and you got to be really careful. When I go through that section of the track, I like to go up a gear. So if I'm in the Corvette, it depends on the car, of course, but in the Corvette, I like to be in 3rd in that corner. You can shift it down to 2nd, but you're taking your chances of spinning those rear tires coming out of that corner. As we are back up to 2nd and 3rd place, Ryzen Baker and Brandon McDonald still going at it. These positions haven't changed for the last few laps. You can see that pink Corvette back there of Brandon McDonald trying to get that position on Ryzen Baker, and just ahead of them we got our leader who hasn't really fully checked out. That's Jed Carterman, still leading this thing, but he's less than 2 seconds behind these guys. About 10 car lengths.
Yeah, the battle for the lead, never more than a second and a half. Pretty constant. I wonder if Jed Cotterman is saving his stuff or if this is just what he's got right now. They're banging going out of 8 into 9. McDonald is going to get there, but no. Baker is going to touch and going to lose it a little bit, and he's going to have to fall back in line as they go through 10, come around 11 to the front straightaway.
Yeah, give that position away. You know, that was a heck of a shot there that he tried to hold on to that position. Couldn't quite do it, but he had to give up that momentum. He got a little squirrely, had the door bang, and that allowed Brandon McDonald to get ahead of Ryzen Baker there. So Ryzen Baker moving back to 3rd place.
Baker gonna kind of just take a breath right there, collect himself, and then start to charge up as he's starting to use that draft to get back up there. Maybe not a move in the bus stop, but I would expect something later in the boot. As they go down, he's closed it to just 2/10 through the bus stop. And McDonald loses it a little bit on the curbs, and Baker's gonna go back to 2nd.
Yeah, and I watched Baker go through the grass a few laps ago in that same position there, give that position back while these guys are duking it out. That allowed our leader, Jed Carterman, to check out another 0.2 seconds away from these two guys, as these guys are really duking it out. It's pretty early in the race, too.
Well, the Porsches are absolutely throwing haymakers at each other early in the race, only 13 minutes in, and the Corvette of Cotterman trying to maximize, but still can only stretch it out to just inside of 2 seconds. Here comes McDonald back to the inside on turn 8, but Baker's a little bit better. They're going to go up to 9. Who's going to tiptoe through the heel the best? Trying to get clean through the heel, and they do. Baker runs a little bit off track. That's going to allow McDonald to make a move to the inside of turn 10. Can't do it. It's going to be Baker again to finish the lap on the front straightaway, just ahead of McDonald. Whew. They're not stopping, are they?
No, they're not. Just prior to that, we were watching Merritt go by Eddie Smith there, back giving that position up giving 7th position up. Eddie Smith did, or 6th position. Tyler Merritt still working his way up through the field. Tyler Merritt now is approaching Jeremy Gardner. So Jeremy Gardner now, our 1-2 guys in the points are about to tangle up here in a moment.
Well, during that battle that we just saw between the two Porsches, Merritt put over a 2nd on Brandon McDonald in 3rd and put about 4/10 on the rest of the field. So you got to think that he's eventually going to get there, but he's approaching the Corvettes of Gardner and Stevens as they duke it out. As you see, Gardner looks inside and can't do it. He's going to slip a little bit through the bus stop. That's going to allow Merritt to close in as they roll through the carousel into the boot. They're going to go down into turn 6. Is Gardner going to make a move? No, he's going to hold steady, but Merritt's catching them both
I almost feel like Gardner is biding his time now at this point. He's not really being really aggressive, but you know that's not going to be the case for Merritt. Merritt looks really aggressive back there in that purple Porsche. You know, previously I was watching a battle just behind them between Eddie Smith and Jake Ham. Jake Ham is missing the front of his McLaren and tried to make a move on Eddie Smith, but I think that aero damage that Jake Ham has got, and that's a battle just behind these guys. Jake Ham is backed off and now just behind Eddie Smith, but did have that position momentarily with that broken McLaren. So I imagine Jake Ham is itching at the bite or whatever. I can't even talk tonight. Can't wait to get into pit lane and get that McLaren fixed.
Well, I'm sure the aero on that's going to be plenty messed up, but it looks like he's making the best of it, currently running in the top 10. But the battle for fourth is really heating up as they come down the front straightaway. Stevens gets a little bit away because Jeremy Gardner is under attack from Tyler Merritt as they were coming out of the boot. Gardner was making a move but couldn't make it stick, and that allowed Merritt to stick right to the back of his bumper.
Yeah, and Merritt's back there in that purple Lamborghini putting all kinds of pressure on Jeremy Gardner, but I don't think Jeremy Gardner's sweating too much. I've raced around Jeremy. I know he's keeping his cool right now, but he probably is trying his best to keep that Lamborghini behind him. Probably not by doing too much mirror driving, but just making sure that he's taking the optimal line and ensuring that Merritt can't get by him.
Merritt put down 7/10 of a second on Jeremy Gardner last lap, and he is there. Gardner still looking to the inside to catch Stevens. He's not going to do it here. Might have something for him down in the heel as they approach turn 8.
Yeah, and as they round this corner, you can see Merritt try to diamond this corner a little bit, try to get the overswing here. Got to run, coming down on the inside here as they're getting ready to go into 9 here. He's probably got the advantage right here going into this braking zone. He gets alongside Gardner. They touch just a little bit. Gardner swings out wide, give that position to Merritt in that Lamborghini.
Yeah, you saw him diamond in turn 7. That allowed him to get the runoff just enough to get to the inside as they went into the next turn. And now Tyler Merritt is working on Travis Stevens next. He's back up to the top 5.
Yeah, he's making, I want to say short week work of these Corvettes, but actually I think he's having to work pretty hard to get by these two Corvettes of Jeremy Gardner and Travis Stevens. So Tyler Merritt trying to work his way back up front. He's about to find his way into that 4th position unless Travis Stevens can hold him off. And we are, let's see, we are 18 minutes into this race, so I imagine we'll start seeing pit stops within the next 7 or 8 minutes.
As we check on the rest of the field here, we see the Audi in 12th place, Bobby Germain.
Yeah, Bobby Germain trying to run down, it looks like Kyle St. John in that Corvette there. You can see, look, peeking to the inside as they approach the bus stop there. You know, the Audi isn't a car, I don't even remember seeing it last week, but it looks pretty strong here at Watkins Glen tonight. You can see him put pressure as they go through the carousel here, coming down into this, into the boot here where you got to be really careful under braking. The back of the car gets really light, especially the Corvette. And you can see that Audi get around, looking for a position, but it looks like he's just going to follow in tow behind Kyle St. John.
As we check back up on Travis Stevens and seeing how he's doing, he's going to have Tyler Merritt making a move down to turn 1, not going to challenge him back. Going to fall in line behind as they go up and over into turn 9, the left-hand turn.
And just
Now
behind
we're
them,
back. Go ahead.
we got Eddie Smith. We got Eddie Smith just behind Jeremy Gardner. Jeremy Gardner seems to be falling off the pace a little bit. So we watched Jeremy Gardner putting all kinds of pressure on Travis Stevens. Oh, oh, there's a Mustang off into the wall there. I'm not sure who that was, but I think that was. We'll have to go back at Tyler Rice. So Tyler Rice having a tough night.
Yeah, he started 15th, worked his way up, and now in 13th. And let's see if we can find out what happened.
Yeah, you can see he's under pressure there behind from that McLaren. Oh, and they get into some lap traffic there. I'm not sure if there was contact there or what happened.
Yeah, he definitely had some help, but now he's working his way down pit road. Fortunately for him, it was pretty close. But on his way down pit road for service, and I don't know if we've seen the last of him. But the battle for second is heated back up. Ryzen Baker are right behind Brennan McDonald.
Yeah, Ryzen Baker just had an incident. He actually spun and backed it into the tire barrier there. We're going back and taking a look, see exactly what happened here. You can see him. He's in that teal and black Porsche there as he entered. This is the bottom half or the start of the boot. And under braking, just loses the rear end of that Porsche and backs it into the wall. So everybody's in their pit window. So, you know, he'll be able to come in, get that car fixed, get it filled up to finish this race. And I imagine that's what he'll probably do.
Probably not what he had in mind. The next best competitive cars are the 7th and 8th place of Eddie Smith and Jake Ham. As you can see them side by side.
Yeah, I think Jake Ham,
turn 9.
Jake Ham is a serious aero disadvantage right now, so he can probably outrun Eddie in the corners, and that's probably what's going on here. But every time they hit the straights, that McLaren is just getting woed up by not having a front end on that thing. So I'm surprised he hasn't taken it down pit road to get it fixed.
Well, still a long way to go, but the earlier he pits, the better for him. But maybe he just doesn't want to sacrifice the track position just yet. Maybe he's scared of where he's going to come out, but we'll see. We'll see where he ends up and how his strategy plays out.
Most definitely, but these guys have been going at it all night. I can't wait to hear Eddie's thoughts on this race, but Jake Ham and Eddie Smith have been pretty much going at it for the last 15 minutes or so, and neither one of them can escape each other. Looking back up here to that Audi that we seen spin out earlier there, that is Bobby Germain. Oh, he's running currently in 10th. Bobby Germain has got Kyle St. John just ahead of him there in the McLaren or in the Corvette, and seeing if he can wind down that little bit of a gap he's got going there. The Corvette swings out wide. That's going to allow Bobby to get on the outside there, and he does get that. Gets that pass complete.
Yeah, I don't think Kyle wanted any part of that after he kind of messed up the entrance to the chute there.
Yeah, and that's smart driving. You know, these guys, sometimes even I do it. You get above your skis, get out over your skis, and you kind of got to woe it up, give the position up, and kind of recollect your thoughts and get back in the game.
Good run for Bobby Germain. He started 22nd up to 9th, hunting down Tyler Justice. Let's see where he ends up after the pit cycle comes through.
Yeah, back up front, we haven't talked about it too much because Jed Cotterman has been putting on the show tonight. He's starting to come up on some lap traffic. It looks like he's got Zachary Menace. It's going to be a first car that's going to go that Jed is trying to put a lap down. So as Jed starts coming up on lap traffic, I imagine, you got options here when you're thinking about your pit strategy. You don't know, you haven't run around these guys that much, and you don't know if they're going to hold you up. And so sometimes when you catch up to the rear of the lap cars and you're in your pit window, it might be a good time to just come in and get the service done.
Eddie Smith is on pit road getting service right now. He's the first car in the top 12 to come down and take service. I imagine that opens the window up for everybody else coming up soon. Maybe with a lead, though, Jed Cotterman wants to run long and see how much of a lead and how clear he can keep it.
Well, the one thing I noticed is we got Brendan McDonald just right behind him. If you remember, he was having that epic battle with that other Porsche for quite a while, but he's now by himself out there, and he's slowly, I want to say, reeling in Jed. At least he's keeping the gap. So, Jed Cotterman hasn't been able to run away with this race as we watch Brennan go out wide there, but hasn't been able to run away with this race. So, this battle could shape up, especially during pits. We'll see who has the faster stop.
Well, Ken, guess who's already back to third place?
Oh.
Tyler Merritt, who's putting down a 1.5 seconds on the leader just the last lap as we're watching the battle for 6th now with Ham, Justice, and Germain.
Yeah, that's going to be an uphill battle still, though, for Tyler Merritt. But what an impressive drive after dropping I think it was around 20th place after that self-spin he had. He's currently in second because the second place car of Brennan McDonald just hit pit lane. But Tyler Merritt, he's got it. Wow, he made up a lot of time there. You're right. He made up a 1.5 seconds. And if that pace continues, he will run down these leaders.
Well, he's got clear track ahead of him for the foreseeable future, so I imagine he will run it as long as he can to get everybody else behind him to pit, as we have McDonald, Gardner, Justice, and Egg all coming down pit road right now for their fuel stop.
I don't imagine Merritt's going to be able to stay out much longer. He is one of the faster guys, so he's burning a lot more fuel. And as I mentioned before, they couldn't quite make it to the halfway point. I expect to see Merritt on pit lane this time by. We'll see. I could be wrong. My fuel calculator might be broken. Could be my pit guy. I don't know, but we'll find out.
Well, if there's one thing I've learned in the last few weeks, it's that you're never wrong. So I believe it.
I wish that were true. As we're looking here, let's see who we got here in the pink Porsche.
We got Brennan McDonald, who is now up to 8th or back to 8th after pitting. I don't imagine he will last too long back there, as the top 7 have yet to pit. He will make almost all of those spots up as they come for service.
I do expect Carterman and Merritt on within this lap or the next one. Oh, as a matter of fact, Carterman on pit lane as we speak. So we'll see how much time Jed gives up to Brennan McDonald here, the first and second guys. See how much time Brennan McDonald makes up on him.
And Merritt is coming to the leader. The whole top 2 is here. Stevens, top 3. What about Ham, Jermaine, and St. John? Ham is on. Jermaine is on. St. John in black. Yes,
I gotta tell you,
looks like everybody is pitting.
I got to tell you, that's an impressive run for Jake Ham. Going back to Jake Ham, he's driven that broken car for quite a while, and he's finally going to be able to get the nose clip put on that. I imagine he'll get it put on. I don't see the quick repair. If he didn't use it, that would be surprising. But, man, Jake Ham, with that broken car, has made quite a move up through the field.
And now with the 68 of Jason Black on pit road, this will be service for everybody on the lead lap. And so now we're going to see how things shake out. Jed Cotterman is off, and he is retaining the lead. And if you look, the battle for second just happened on pit road. It's going to be McDonald with Merritt right behind him, only 4/10 back, and he's already gaining as they go up to the S's down the back straightaway.
Yeah, Merritt was going to be there. Kind of figured. It looks like he Travis Stevens. I'm trying to figure out who I'm looking at here. Let me
McDonald and Merritt through the bus stop.
Yeah, McDonald.
That's
carousel. McDonald had quite a bit slower stop than our leader, and so I was looking at how much time he gave up to the leader on that stop, and then that allowed Merritt to really catch up. Now you see Merritt on the outside as they enter the boot here in this downhill braking zone. It looks like that Porsche's got the advantage of McDonald, that is, in that pink Porsche, and kept it for now, but hold on, Merritt is coming.
Merritt couldn't quite make it stick on the outside, but he's right there, only 2/10 back, and they're both catching Cotterman, who's out there in first. And as they go down into the heel, Merritt's not going to make his move here. Is he going to make it up at 9? He's a little bit back, but he can close it with late braking. Going to stay right there, tiptoe up the hill, coming down into turn 10. Will he make a move there, or will he wait for 1?
I think he's going to probably try to wait for 1, try to get in that toe. As he got a lap car off the track there. I'm not sure what's going on there, but you can see if he can get the toe going down the front stretch here. See if he can get into that braking zone ahead of Brendan McDonald. It doesn't look so at the moment.
Stretched the lead out to almost 4/10, but he's quickly going to gain it back, going up the S's with the draft, as we check now with Jeremy Gardner and Travis Stevens, and the battle for 5th, as Gardner's going to get into turn 1 and make the pass, heading up the S's.
Yeah, I'm wondering if something happened to Gardner, because Gardner was backing off before that pit stop and losing a lot of positions, and now he was able to get by Travis Stevens. So some interesting stuff going on with Gardner now. He's got that position. Well, Travis Stevens is going to fight back on the outside as they come up to the bus stop. You can see that black and silver Corvette there on the outside, but Gardner's got the advantage going through the bus stop and will hold on to that position as they enter the carousel.
Stevens slipped in the bus stop, and it's going to cost him a little bit of time. They're coming around the carousel down towards turn 6. Can he make up some of the time?
We'll see. This is that tough braking zone. There's some smoke ahead of him. There might be a car spun around. You can see that Porsche. Oh, who is that? That was one of our
It was
front
Rising
runners.
Baker,
Yeah, Rising Baker goes around again.
who was having a great run up in the top 3. Just late braking.
And we got
Couldn't
another
keep it
Porsche
ar-
around too.
couldn't keep it
in that
straight.
same spot.
Now falling all the way back to 11th as Stevens is starting to lose Jeremy Gardner. And while we were away, Tyler Merritt has made the pass for second and is now 6 seconds behind the leader, Cotterman.
Yep, so now Tyler Merritt has got some open track between him and the leader and see if he can run him down. That's Carterman. So he's got that 6-second deficit to make up. But Brendan McDonald is no slouch. He's been strong all night. He's been able to keep up with the leader. Just gave up about 5 seconds during that pit stop, but it looks like Merritt is starting to stretch up that lead already as they go through the S's.
Well, Merritt's got clear track ahead all the way to the leader. Cotterman's got clear track ahead for about 5 or 10 seconds, and then he'll start catching the lapped cars. The next car he's going to catch is Warren Clayton in his McLaren. Still leading. He's led every moment so far as we're in the final half of this race. And while we have a second to catch our breaths, let's talk about Glove Station. At Glove Station, they're committed to providing quality gloves and protective gear for a wide range of your daily activities and jobs. From tinkering on home DIYs to working in industrial environments and everything in between, they've got you covered. With endless amounts of safety products on the market, they want to make it effortless for you to find the right protection for your needs. Visit Glove Station. As we see Ryzen Baker got a handful.
Oh, around again. Oh,
around.
Samuel Egg.
The 243 is absolutely totaled. That is going to be all for that car. As we're going to take a look at the VSPEED instant replay, you can see Ryzen Baker just a little squirrely coming out of the bus stop. Samuel Egg, just an innocent victim there as Ryzen lost it. And I think they're going to have to go take a trip to Cruising Classics and get themselves a new car.
Yes, a tough break for Samuel Egg. He was having such a good night. He started in 5th. When that happened, he was down in about the 11th spot, I believe it was. So a huge break, tough break for him. He had to get that car towed to pit lane, and I don't know if we'll see him back out there tonight. No, it looks like he might come back out after he gets that car repaired. But we got this battle here. Looks like Travis Stevens back there with Jeremy Gardner up front. We're looking at Travis Stevens right now, but Jeremy Gardner just ahead of him.
Gardner and Stevens working on lap traffic. They just got behind or gotten ahead of Brian Frauheiger. Now they're both working on Kevin Price down the back straightaway into the bus stop. Price is going to give it up to Jeremy Gardner, but Travis Stevens not there soon enough to take advantage, and he's going to have to make his move around the carousel headed in. But Travis Stevens has Bobby Germain right behind him, only 4/10 back, trying to catch up so he can make himself a move. Bobby Germain going to come around in his Audi, coming down to the heel of the boot, or excuse me, the toe of the boot, going to try to catch up. Nothing doing there, and Jeremy Gardner starting to pull away while Travis Stevens and Bobby Germain work on Kevin Price, the lap car.
Yeah, heck of a run by Bobby Germain. I think he's probably our biggest move of the race. Getting that Audi started in the 6th position, or the 22nd position. He's up to the 6th position. So Bobby Germain having a wonderful night there in that Audi. So it shows that Audi's still got some pace and going to be working on Tyler Justice as soon as they get around this lap car of Price.
Kevin Price lets them go at the top of turn 9. And now they all have each other to contend with. Gardner about 1.25 seconds ahead of Stevens, but Bobby Germain only 7/10 behind Stevens as they go down the straightaway towards turn 1.
So looking back up front, we got Jed Carterman back up front, and then Tyler Merritt, who's managed to get himself up to 2nd. But one thing I noticed is Tyler Merritt hasn't been running as fast as catching the leader as he was previously. It's almost like Jed Carterman looked in his relative, seen Merritt, got that 2nd position, and said, okay, I need to step it up, because that gap is starting to maintain a little bit better. I think Merritt is slowly catching him, but not like he was, not like a second and a half like he was before.
Well, he put 3/10 on him, as you can see him getting a little squirrely there, entering the boot in the chute. Definitely, definitely an impressive run no matter what happens to get sent all the way back to 22nd place with a mistake, but work your way back up in half the race. You got to be proud of yourself for that one.
Yeah, and he's still got a lot of time. He's got 24 minutes to try to catch the leader. I'm not saying he's not going to get it done, as we're looking at Brendan McDonald here back there in that third position, running right behind Merritt. But, I'm not saying he can't get it done, but the time is winding down. He's been a fast car, had that unfortunate incident. As long as Jed can stay on his game, not make any mistakes, and try to mine that gap, Tyler Merritt might have a difficult time catching him.
Yeah, you wonder if Merritt used up all of his tires, in the last half hour trying to catch everybody and get through the field. I mean, he sliced and diced around 20 cars, and if he didn't take tires, then, he's kind of, on the back foot here as we look at Travis Stevens in 5th place.
Yeah, Travis Stevens still in that battle we were talking about with Bobby Germain moving up through the field. Bobby Germain would like to get a top 5 tonight after all the positions he's gained, but he's starting to catch some cars that are matching his speed a little bit. So a little bit as he gets through the field, every car that he catches up to gets a little harder to pass. And Travis Stevens has been no slouch on the track tonight as we watched him and Gardner go at it for the first half of this race. Now it looks like it's going to be Germain and Stevens for the second half of this race, and who's going to come away with that 5th spot.
Well, Gardner, Stevens, and Germain all kind of hanging around each other. But we'll see if Gardner can use this to his advantage while they work on each other. And while they're doing that, Eddie Smith's got a chance to maybe catch up from 7th and get all as far up as 5th.
Yeah, I know
the
Eddie
green car in the back of the frame, but he is rapidly approaching.
I know Eddie would like to see those guys battle more so he can run these guys down. So Eddie back in that Porsche, as I mentioned at the top of the race. After starting the season in a Mustang and having an unfortunate incident, I think he finished maybe outside the top 20 last week. But this week he's bringing a strong fight here in that Porsche, currently running 7th. Hopefully he can get up to the top 5. We'll have to wait and see if that Porsche's got anything for these guys. I believe it's our top running Porsche of the night. No, I'm sorry, that's Brendan McDonald is our top running Porsche. Eddie being the second top running Porsche of the evening.
Well, Bobby Germain is there. He is at the rear bumper of Travis Stevens. As you can see in the foreground, they're working their way down to turn 10.
Yeah, coming up to the final corner here. Coming up to the final corner here, entering the front stretch. You can see if he can get a run into the braking zone coming down the front stretch, but I don't know. He's quite a ways back there. That Corvette gets off the corners really well. The Porsche is more of a finesse car, and the Corvette's more of a car you have to manhandle. So it looks like that Corvette got the better of that first turn, but we'll see what he can do as we come up through the S's. We'll see if that Audi can run that Corvette down.
Well, it's been showing that the Corvette just seems to have the straight line speed, so I think the boot is where you're going to see the Audi flourish the most, but we'll see what they can do as they approach the bus stop.
Yeah, and one other thing I'm noticing too is Travis Stevens is also running down Gardner. Now, we've seen this in the first half of the race where Gardner would start off strong and then kind of fade, and it looks like maybe Gardner's starting to fade a little bit again. So I don't know if Gardner's heating up those tires, but you can see Travis Stevens now just a couple car lengths behind him. Those two and him and Bobby Germain are starting to reel in Gardner. So Gardner's under threat of losing that 4th position that he's currently running in.
Well, Gardner's got 16 seconds to 3rd place, so he probably has kind of given up that fight. He might be saving his stuff for when these two catch him and attack, and so he can drive away. As now we're looking at Zachary Minnis in the number 31, running 12th, started 8th, running in the midfield, doing a nice job, keeping it clean so far. As you can see him battling for the 11th spot with Jason Black.
Yeah, Jason Black in that Lamborghini, who our points leader is in, and that's Merritt. So the Lamborghinis, as they split a lap car there, and it looks like yeah, and they got the Lamborghini got the best of it on that move. So Zachary Minnis kind of had to back out of it.
And Black's going to use that to his advantage. He's going to pull away already in 1.1 seconds ahead of Minnis. We'll see if Minnis can catch up. The battle for 4th place continues to heat up You have Gardner and Stevens Germain only a half second apart as they go up the S's down the back straightaway.
Yeah, we'll see if Travis has got anything for Gardner as they come down the back straightaway. Looking to the outside, Gardner tried to defend that inside going into the bus stop. Gardner seemed to be pretty good in the bus stop when we watched him in the first stint, but we'll see what Travis Stevens can do here. Travis Stevens backs out. He's under pressure by Bobby Germain. So, you know, one of the things that Travis Stevens is looking at, he's got a guy in front he needs to pass, and he's got a guy behind him that he needs to keep back there. So he's kind of the guy stuck in the middle, and it's kind of a hard task to do as he makes a look to the inside here as they come up second part of this boot.
Gardner ran a little wide in 6, and that let Stevens and Germain catch him. So now it's 3 cars just 4 tenths apart from each other as they go down towards turn 8 in the heel. What is the Corvette Stevens going to try? Nothing here. Germain's going to get closer as they go up the hill around in turn 9.
Yeah, and as these 3 guys are battling it out, I see Eddie Smith back there creeping into the picture in that green Porsche. You can see him just about 7 car lengths back, slowly creeping into this picture as these 3 guys duke it out. And I know that Gardner, like I said, he slowed down early in this stint after the tires got warm. It looks like the same thing's happening there. Travis Stevens trying to find a way around, but at the same time defending that position from Bobby Germain.
As you see the cars come down the front straightaway, 18 minutes to go in this one. They've lost, this group here has lost a half second to Eddie Smith in the last 2 laps. Still plenty of time for Eddie Smith to come into the equation and steal the top 5.
That'll be a fun battle. Well, we got a quick little break here. I'd like to shout out our title sponsor of the series, and that's MK Fire Designs. MK Fire Design is a design company that specializes in custom wooden flags, shirts, hoodies, and hats. The company supports first responders and is veteran owned and is owned by a first responder. So we want to thank MK Fire Design for being on board with this series, and as you can see that this series is putting on quite a show for them as well.
Absolutely. Have you seen those flags? They're beautiful, aren't they?
They're absolutely beautiful. I think, what was it? Patrick Drabick posted one up here recently up here in Discord. What a beautiful flag.
Yeah, well, I bet we'll probably all have to have those in our sim rooms, you know, before the end of 2025.
That might be the case. It'd look good, you know, especially, you know, we get our producer to start showing camera feeds too. You know, you can see that nice wooden flag on the back of the wall there. Nice little thing is, oh, we got a battle going, heating up here. Looks like Bobby Germain took a peek on the inside of Travis Stevens. Travis Stevens now maybe doing a little bit of mirror driving, trying to keep Bobby Germain back there. You can see Bobby Germain starting to really put pressure on him. He's probably looking at Jeremy Gardner, see some weakness in Jeremy Gardner. Now he wants to get by that Corvette of Travis Stevens.
Yeah, if you're really going to try to make up some time on somebody else, turn 9 at the top of the hill seems to be the place because everybody just goes through there so slow. So who's the most daring who can make up that time? Down to turn 1. Haven't seen too many turn 1 moves today, but it's definitely not out of the question with only 16 minutes to go as we're half a second between 4th and 6th with still closing on the rest of these guys.
Yeah, Gardner's still defending that inside as they enter the bus stop. One thing I want to draw your attention to is our leader. So our leader, Tyler Merritt, second place position. There you can see him in that purple Lamborghini. Right back there. Has closed that gap down now. He is just about a couple of seconds behind. So 1.5 at the moment. So he's almost ran down our leader. Like you said, with 16 minutes to go, he's right there.
He's got him out the window. He's put down, about 4 tenths on him in the last lap. So might still be some time. If you do the math on that, he's there, but he's got to be mistake-free.
So back to our battle that we were watching previously with Jeremy Gardner and Travis Stevens. So something happened with Bobby Germain. I think he got a little loose, had to back out of it a little bit. He's fallen a few car lengths behind Travis Stevens, but I think that allowed Travis Stevens not to look at his mirror for a while, and that allowed Travis Stevens to get on the back bumper of Jeremy Gardner again and put his attention solely on Jeremy Gardner, as he doesn't have to worry about Bobby Germain just for the moment at least.
as they go down into turn 11, back onto the front straightaway to the start-finish line. Approaching turn 1, Jeremy Gardner leads Travis Stevens by 4/10. Here comes the late braking. Can Stevens close the gap through turn 1? It is shaved off a couple hundredths. Not going to be enough to make a difference here. Up through the S's, high speed.
Yeah, as they go through the S's
here.
Watching these Corvettes go at it, Jeremy Gardner's been defending the inside here. You'll see him drop down probably a little bit, although he's got a little bit more of a gap, so he doesn't really have to do that as they enter the bus stop here. I think Travis Stevens probably waiting maybe a little bit longer. Hopefully those tires wear out a little bit further for Jeremy Gardner. At least that's what he's hoping for. But just behind them, you got Eddie Smith now. Well, he was approaching the back door of Bobby Germain, so another battle heating up here. We were talking about Eddie Smith starting to run these guys down, at least catch up to him while they were battling it out. And sure enough, he's at least gotten to the back of Bobby Germain, and whether he can do anything with him, that remains to be seen. But definitely going to start putting some pressure on, I think.
Simultaneous battles for 4th place and for 6th place. You can see it on the screen. They're happening right next to each other.
And this is the best battle on track. Yeah, this is the best battle on track there, Corey. Sorry about that, but you know, I'm looking around the track and we're definitely watching the best battle. Our 2 leaders, you know, the gap hasn't changed too much, so I'm keeping my eye on it. There's still about a 2-second gap between 1st and 2nd, so this 4th place battle with these 4 cars is about the best thing going on right now.
Stevens still 5/10 behind Gardner. He can reel him in, get close, but he can't seem to make it happen. Coming down across the start-finish line, 13 minutes to go. Gonna close in. Up through the S's they go. Gardner hugs the inside. Stevens gonna try to get the draft. Make the line down the back straightaway. All the way up to 165 miles an hour. Stevens gonna show. Gardner's gonna come back left for the block. Through the bus stop clean. Gardner is gonna lose a couple tenths. He's got Stevens right behind as they're coasting and grinding their way through the carousel back down into the chute. Turn 6 downhill. Oh, you really got to watch your braking on this one, don't you, Ken?
Absolutely. So one thing I noticed that Travis Stevens probably noticed as well is the way Gardner really defended that position. That just told Travis Stevens a lot of what it's going to take to get around that other Corvette. So Travis Stevens probably looking at Jeremy Gardner and like, okay, this guy is really going to squeeze this issue hard. Of course, we're getting close to 10 minutes, so Travis probably knows at this point he's going to have to get just an awesome run into one of these braking zones if he's going to get around Gardner, especially the way Gardner is defending that position. But like I said, those 2 guys behind him, you got Bobby Germain and Eddie Smith just chomping at the bit for those 2 guys to really start locking horns. And if those 2 Corvettes get together, that could be a gold mine for those 2 drivers behind them.
As you see Eddie Smith and Bobby Germain duking it out for 6th still. We've got Stevens and Gardner only a quarter second apart coming down the straightaway. Now we're at 11.5 minutes to go. Is he going to make a move? Probably too far, but he can close the gap, make a move to the inside. Nope, just going to shadow him through one and work his way back up through the S's. And don't look now. Tyler Merritt inside a second to 1st place, Jed Cotterman. He is catching the leader.
Yeah, and Carterman's got some lap traffic just ahead of him as you're looking here in Carterman's car here. He's got a Mustang ahead of him, so that's definitely not going to help Carterman's case, and it depends on how he gets by him. And you can see that Merritt is just closing in, and so I'm sure he desperately wants to get by that Mustang in front of him.
Well, Tyler Rice, the last car on the lead lap, may make it difficult, but we'll see how much of a factor he's going to play. While it's happening, Merritt is going to get closer, inch his way up to the leader as they go up and around turn 9, down towards the straightaway into 10. Rice still has about 4 tenths in front of the leader, not conceding just yet. Breaking down into turn 11, come around the front straightaway, 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, if Rice is going to give that position up to these 2 leaders, now would be the time, but it doesn't look like he's going to do it. And it looks like Cotterman is going to have to follow this lap car through the S's unless after turn 1 he lets him go. But we'll have to wait and see. No, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. We're looking at the lap down, or almost lap car, the 13th position, Tyler Rice here, with the 2 leaders behind him. Our Cotterman's our leader, and Merritt, after that spin way early in this race, like on lap 1 or 2, has caught our leader. And you can see he's passing the lights, desperately wants to get by Rice. And it looks like he's going to get him in the bus stop here, and that's going to choke up Merritt. Merritt's all in the back of that lap car. Yeah.
The bus stop. Merritt has contact in the bus stop with Tyler Rice, the lap car, and that's going to slow him up, and it's now a 2nd and a quarter as they go down into turn 6 through the chute, approaching the toe. There's only 9 minutes to go in this race. Can Tyler Merritt do it?
I don't know, but Tyler Justice, just behind him, has got all kinds of pressure back again on Jeremy Gardner. All 4 of these cars, nose to tail, just Eddie Smith, just almost there. All 4 of these cars duking it out for that 3rd place position, that last podium position, or not the last podium position, but 4th position, which Jeremy Gardner currently holds on to.
As you see, Bobby Germain inches closer to the rear bumper of Travis Stevens, looking inside.
Oh,
Not
back up
going to
front.
be enough room.
Back
We're
up front.
back up to the battle for the win. It's heated up, and it looks like Jed Cotterman is holding off Tyler Merritt in the fight for his life as they come down the main straightaway. 8.5 minutes to go, and he leads by 0.3.
Yeah, they had another close incident there with Rice again in that corner. I'm not sure how Rice caught back up into that, but it was a close battle. But Merritt right now, looking at Cotterman, still about, I want to say 5 minutes to go, 6 minutes, oh no, 8 minutes to go. So 5 laps or so of this race left. And Merritt is there and looking for his 2nd win as he's putting all kinds of pressure on Cotterman right now as they get close to the bus stop here.
Tyler Merritt's got about 3 or 4 laps to get this done. They got about 10 seconds ahead of Jason Kristen, a lap car in 12th, the last car now being shown on the lead lap as Merritt and Cotterman go through down towards the boot into turn 6. And early on the braking is Cotterman. He's playing it a little bit conservative. That's going to allow Merritt to get right there. Merritt is going to shadow him, try to force the mistake. And we're going to see who flinches first as he comes it outside, trying to get the run. He slips up a little bit, not going to do it here. And it's not going to be here in the next turn, turn 8.
No, it doesn't look like it. And that Mustang's been running strong. Cotterman was he was our pole sitter. So one of the faster cars out there, but we know Merritt is super fast. Dominated last week. We probably would have liked to dominate it tonight, but Cotterman is dominated, but Merritt is there. The domination. It's going to be a question whether Jed can really defend here. He's going to have to defend for the next 7-8 minutes, and it's going to be a tough thing. It's mentally exhausting watching where that Lamborghini is darting to and which side he's going to and where to defend and how much that's going to slow up your corner exit speeds if you take an inside line. So he's got all that going on in his mind. He's led this whole race, and now right here at the end, he's got to be totally mentally focused.
How much car does Tyler Merritt have left? He has carved his way through the field. He wrecked on lap 1, kept it off the wall in the tires, and was all the way back in 22nd place. And he is now charging back up, and he is just half a second from the lead as we're going to stay here with the leader. Bobby Germain had an issue and has fallen back to 13th in his Audi.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I see him in pit lane. So, yeah, the tough break for Bobby Germain. The other 3 guys that were with him, Eddie Smith, Travis Stevens, Jeremy Gardner, they're still going at it. That battle's still happening while we're watching our leaders here kind of duke it out going into the bottom of the boot here in that hard braking zone. That Mustang has got the advantage right now, going to be able to take it into the next corner with some breathing room, but we'll see if that continues as we look back to Jeremy Gardner and Travis Stevens go at it through the bus stop.
Stevens still in 5th. He's trying to make the charge, cannot get around Gardner. Been looking at the back bumper of his car for about the last 40 minutes. Can't make it happen. Does he have anything here in the last 5 minutes?
Yeah, I don't know. You know, now's the time. If you've got anything for Gardner, now's the time to show it. So far, Eddie Smith has dropped back there a little bit, and that might be from the incident with Bobby Germain. But right now, these two guys are battling it out for fourth. Brendan McDonald is currently running in third. We haven't talked about him in a while, but he's in that pink Porsche, running in third, having a very solid night. Kind of quiet after the first half, after that battle he had with Razan, but having a really quiet night, really stable, looking to hold on to that third podium spot.
Yes, sir. Now we're back up to the leaders. Jed Cotterman 4/10 of a second lead. I gotta wonder, are Tyler Merritt's tires gone as they're heading down towards the bus stop? 4 minutes to go.
Yeah, and Carterman is going to need to do his best to defend. Like I said, you can see Merritt all closed up on him through the bus stop, putting all kinds of pressure on that Mustang there as they go through the carousel there. Headed down into the lower part of the boot, into the hard braking zone. Here we go, that Lamborghini hard on the brakes, looking for a way around. Maybe thought about a crossover, didn't quite have anything there. Again, this is a situation where Carterman is doing his very best to defend these positions, putting his car where Tyler Merritt wants it. And as long as Carterman can keep his car in Merritt's way, so to speak, he should be able to hang on, but we'll see. Merritt's super strong.
I think Cotterman has saved enough tire. You could tell he just has more corner exit speed than Tyler Merritt every turn, and that's what's keeping him in first as they climb the hill to turn 9. Merritt's going to struggle to get back in the gas again with those worn out tires going down into 10. He's going to close it up, still about 3/10 as they dive into turn 11, coming around the main straightaway. 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, we just have about 3 laps left, I would say, as they go down the front stretch here. And this is one thing I noticed about that Mustang at Carterman. It's always been fast on the straightaways. I think he brought that up about halfway through the race, about how strong these Mustangs are on the straightaways. And that Lambo will close up probably in the bus stop, but that's going to be about Merritt's best opportunity is probably close up in the bus stop and see what he's got for the carousel, try to get by that Mustang. But that Mustang's looking strong right now, and I'm sure Carterman's going to try to be in the way as we're starting to catch some more lap traffic. It looks like Jason in the 11th spot, about to go a lap down just ahead of these guys. Could play a factor in that.
Well, Tyler.
Merritt goes around. Merritt is around again.
He barely hit the brakes going through the bus stop. He did it 2 laps in a row, and that's going to cost him a chance at the win.
Yeah,
Let's take a look at the VSPEED instant replay. Goes through, hops, and my goodness, just hits the curb wrong and loses control. That's going to cost him a win and a podium position.
Yeah, and he spun around in a very similar position early in this race. And yeah, that's a tough break for Merritt. So Merritt, I think he just threw that win away. Now that he's currently running in third, even after that spin, still in a podium position. But yeah, tough break for Merritt.
He'd have much rather had the top spot, but he's still got 22 seconds ahead of 4th place. So as long as he can keep it together, he should be okay, despite the damage that he incurred. But
well,
right now, Jed Cotterman is 5.5 seconds ahead of Brendan McDonald.
Well, speaking of 4th place here, we're watching Travis Stevens still looking for a way to get by Jeremy Gardner. Still hasn't happened. Eddie Smith has closed up that gap again. You can see that green Porsche here as we're winding this race down with a couple laps to go. You can see that green Porsche back there closing in on both these guys of Travis Stevens and Jeremy Gardner. But, man, Travis Stevens just can't find a way around Gardner. And that's what I said. Gardner doing his very best to defend, and so far he's getting it done.
Is Jeremy Gardner going to open the door for Eddie Smith to get 5th place around Travis Stevens? They seem to be holding each other up quite a bit. White flag is out. 1 lap to go.
Yeah, 1 lap to go, and these guys are really duking it out. I'm watching our leader, but stay on this battle for right now. We got this is the best battle on the track right now. See if Travis Stevens can get anything here in the next couple of corners before we move back to our leader.
It is 2 laps to go. I thought I saw the white flag, so excuse me for that one.
Oh, okay. It's all good. Phew. I didn't want it to end yet. This is a lot of fun as we watch Travis Stevens take a peek there to the inside, going through the bus stop. Maybe try to get Jeremy off the game here, trying to charge into that bus stop through the carousel. Oh, Eddie Smith taking a peek on the inside of Travis Stevens. Had nothing doing, though.
Stevens slipped up a little bit in the bus stop, and Eddie Smith was there. They're working their way down into turn 6 in the start the boot. Now Stevens catching Gardner, leaving Eddie Smith a little bit further behind, going to break late. Following Gardner in line, hugs the inside, trying to accelerate out, catches the grass a little bit. That's going to slow him just a little bit. Gardner's going to pull away down towards turn 8.
Well, our leader is taking the win right now. Back up front. I guess it was the white flag there, Corey. Our leader just pulls down the win. Merritt with that tough break behind him spun. But that allows our race win. Congratulations to Jed Carterman for winning tonight's Watkins Glen race.
Well, we apologize for that. The scoring tower was still showing green, but I thought I saw the white flag as the Stevens and Gardner show was going to end with Stevens not being able to catch Jeremy Gardner for 4th. He'll take 5th, and Eddie Smith will take 6th.
Yeah, no, I think I see what you're seeing. I've been having some problems with my timing screen, so it is what it is, but it's still a great race. So congrats to Jed Carterman there. So you see him down there break, probably waiting to see, waiting for all the traffic to pass, everybody to finish their laps before he celebrates that victory with some burnouts. Back to Jed Carterman there.
So Jed Carterman leads wire to wire and wins at Watkins Glen.
What an impressive run. Tyler Merritt, that was an impressive run as well. You know, shout out to Bobby Germain, who ended up finishing a lap down after being involved in a late race incident, but Bobby Germain ran himself up front from the 22nd position. So, you know, these guys, some of these guys had a tough night here at the end, but put on a pretty good show.
Yep, Jason Kristen and Bobby Germain both gained double-digit spots after starting basically in the back. They're your big winners from qualifying to the finish of this race. Great race by them.
Well,
we're going to send it to commercial, and we'll be right back with post-race interviews with your winner, Jed Carterman.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. InVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. InVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about InVets, visit us at invets.org today.
Superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you, day in, day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your glove station.
Welcome back to the Goat Locker Racing MK Fire Design Sports Cars Series presented by Zach Graphics. What an exciting race that we had for you here tonight. Here is our unofficial results This week's winner, a new winner, Jed Carterman, finishes first in that Mustang. What a strong performance, led basically flag to flag, I believe, to get that first place finish, holding off Tyler Merritt, who made an impressive run back after an early spin. So Brendan McDonald, what a quiet night he had after an early battle early in the race, finishes second. Tyler Merritt, as I mentioned earlier, finishes third. Jeremy Gardner with a strong run in that Corvette with Travis Stevens and Eddie Smith right behind him for fifth and sixth, respectively. Tyler Justice finishes in seventh position with Jake Ham finishing in eighth. So did a great job bringing that damaged car home for eighth. Kyle St. John finishes ninth with Jason Black just behind him in the 68, finishing in 10th.
Well, that's everybody on the lead lap. In 11th place, we had Jason Kristen in the 82, followed by Bobby Germain in 12th, Tyler Rice in the 06, Kevin Price in the 80 were 13th and 14th. The 085 of James Goshen finishes 15th. In 16th, you have Brian Frauheiger. It's 17th, Zach Menace. 18th, Warren Clayton. 19th, the 243 of Samuel Egg. And in 20th, the number 77 Porsche of Ryzen Baker.
Finishing in 21st is Tyler White with Lucas Lyons finishing in 22nd. Alexander Sexauer with a tough night finishes in 23rd with Jamie Lipke finishing 24th behind him. Casey Jones will finish in 25th while Noah Hogard will finish in 26th place. Mark Cofield and Dakota Cole looks like they never started this race will finish 27th and 28th respectively. So, well, that concludes our unofficial results. Why don't we talk to our race winner there, Corey?
Yeah, I'm down here with, I'm down here with Jed Cotterman. Jed, you got a copy on us?
I sure do.
Well, that was quite a clinic you put on there. Got a little hectic at the end, a little scary. How did you pull this off?
A lot of luck, and I just had to concentrate on my marks. Tyler is just bad fast. I don't know how he got through the field like he did, but there's something to that Lambo. We need to do a nice inspection on it after race. I don't know. But I just tried to be consistent and not pay too much attention to the relative in my mirror. I knew he was coming, and I just, like I said, I just had to hit my marks and try to get through the lap traffic the best I could.
Well, Tyler had some lap one trouble, obviously, and spent the rest of the race trying to carve up the field, probably using up his stuff. Did you have to save it all to have something left at the end, or were you giving it the full gas the whole time?
To be honest, I was lifting when I could, but I was all out the whole race. I think the last 10 laps, I don't think I took a breath. So when I saw him spin after the bus stop, it was like, oh, what a relief. Not that I want to see anybody wreck by any means, but he was going to get me. I just didn't know when, but no, I was all out for the whole hour. I didn't have a choice.
Well, I'm sure the sense of relief came with a few laps to go, but who do you have to thank and shout out for this victory of yours as we're in race 2 of the Goat Locker GT3 series?
Man, before I list all my sponsors and guys that we really need to give thanks to, man, I wish I would have made the first race. But I'm looking forward to the next. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself, and me and the Mustang will be back next week. But as far as people I'd like to thank, we need to give a shout out to the title sponsor, MK Fire Designs, Lincoln Tech, Save 22, and the Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, which is kind of ironic because I was born and raised in Indiana.
All right. Well, that's Jed Cotterman, your winner. He's fallen in love with Goat Locker Racing just like the rest of us.
So we're bringing in, we'll see if we got Tyler Merritt there.
How's it going?
Well, I guess we have Tyler Merritt. I guess I'm going to interview you here, Tyler Merritt. So you got a third place finish. You had an early incident. Let's talk about that first incident early in this race. What happened?
I so misjudged the exit of the bus stop. I knew if I went to the left to only have the right side hit, it was going to spin on cold tires. Went the grass second, okay, so I'll take the slow down, just probably keep fourth or fifth. No, the car did not like that. The car did not like that. So the
Well,
bad thing is, both spins in this race, I've never had the problem in this car at the bus stop, and I've raced this car probably over 200 laps here overall this year, and it sucks to happen. That spin happened twice in one race. It really sucks.
Yeah, almost in the same spot too. I was going to ask you. I was like, so then you managed to do it. You did it at the beginning of the race, and then you did it right at the end. So you kind of have nice bookmarks at least. But between those two bookmarks, you had a heck of a race coming back through the field. Describe what it was like coming through all that traffic, and what was going through your mind as far as pit stops and when you were going to do that.
Well, pit stops, I was trying to go to make it as far as I could without pitting because less fuel. Because I don't know if you guys know, the way auto fuel works is that it adjusts as you go throughout the race. It typically is best to pit right as the last lap you have to, because it gives you the least amount of fuel you need to make it to the end. I always have like 1 lap extra. That probably cost me a little bit tonight because, as you guys could tell, as soon as I caught Jed, Dirty Air was just like, yeah, your front end's not turning anymore. I roasted my fronts because I caught him. Was trying to break later, trying to get him to mess up, mess him, go wide, get loose or anything. Didn't happen. And I really wish I would have took tires.
Well, it was really exciting for us to watch you go through the field tonight, though. Regardless of what happened, you still come away with a podium. And in fact, I think you're going to hang on to the points lead because Jeremy Gardner, who finished second last week, is going to be second in the points. Managed to get a fourth place finish. So you're still up there, still in the lead for points. What do you have for everyone next week?
Let me look at the schedule to see where we're at. VIR.
Yep.
I'll be honest, I like that track somewhat, but also time I hate it because let's just say I don't know what turn it is. You guys got a really fast left-hander as you're going into like right before the uphill section. Like it's probably turn 7 right. I don't know which turn it is, but that's it. I have a nasty habit of getting off track in a dang slowdown there. So let's hope that doesn't happen next week.
Well, Gardner would be mad if I told you the secret of that corner, so I'm not going to do it tonight. But congrats on that podium finish, that third place. Who do you have to thank tonight for getting you there? And look forward to see the rest of the season with you.
I would like to thank you guys for the broadcast. Amazing as usual. I want to thank Jed for pushing me as hard as I probably wish she would not have pushed me as hard as I could. I want to thank MK Fire Design, iRacing, SimMotion, and really I'd say Timothy for putting on the series. It's really nice to come back to a GT3 series over here because last season I wasn't able to make it because I was running another league, but this season I was like, I gotta come run with the guys that I really enjoy racing with, the veteran charity, and really it's really nice what you guys put on for all the veterans in the U.S. It's really nice. So
well, I
wish
wish you
I gotta come back and run over here. Go ahead.
I wish you could have raced last season with us because I was in that season and you'd have been a lot of fun to race with. So you'd had to contend with me at least. So anyway, what a heck of a show. Good watching you. Can't wait to see you next week and as the season progresses. And wish you a happy rest of your weekend here as we go into Sunday.
Y'all too. Y'all have a good night, and I'm hoping to be back in the podium next week. I'm hoping so.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
Y'all take it easy.
Well, there you have it, our third place finisher. We do not have second place tonight, so sorry about that, folks, but we'll try to get him on board next week if he manages to get second place. But, shout out to Brennan McDonald again for having that quiet second half of that race and finishing second. Don't want to leave him out, but what an exciting race. What do you think about next week, Corey?
Well, we're going to take a look at the schedule. As we talked about with Tyler Merritt, VIR is next. So the rest of September looks like a lot of fun. VIR, Road Atlanta, and Long Beach, 3 very different tracks, and I can't wait to see what everybody has in store now that Watkins Glen is in the rear view. This is the last race of every race week here at Goat Locker, and every race is delivered so far. And while today, the MK Fire Design GT3 series was no exception.
Absolutely. And it's been a pleasure having you here, Corey. I know you can't be with us next week, but been an absolute pleasure having you here for the first 2 races. Always a shout out to Tim Jones for putting this series on and being the producer of the broadcast as well. Man, what a season. I think this is really shaping out to be a big one and a good one.
Absolutely. Anybody else you want to talk about before we sign off for the night? Any final thoughts on Watkins Glen?
Well, I just want to give a shout out to MK Fire Design again. MK Fire Design, design company that specializes in wooden flags, shirts, hoodies, and hats. Also want to give a huge shout out to Save 22, fighting first responders and veteran suicide. And then Zach Graphics. So if you've got a design, they can put your design on almost anything. Big shout out to those guys. So yeah, looking forward to VIR next week. As you'd mentioned before, VIR is a lot more technical than Watkins Glen, and watching these guys go through the S's next week is going to be a lot of fun.
All right. Well, I cannot wait to watch your broadcast. But until next week, I'm Corey Smith with Timothy Jones, Ken Huber, and Dougie Beard. So long from Watkins Glen.
Good night, everyone.